Joining us now to bring us more context to all of this is Digital Business Executive with Strat America's Seth Schachner. Hey, Seth, thanks for being here.
Hey, good morning,
Good
Jeff. Great to be
morning.
back.
Can you break it down for us a little bit further here? What exactly is included in President Biden's order?
Well, it's not totally clear yet, but what I think President Biden and his administration is doing is something that is more comprehensive than what we saw with the last administration, where I think the Trump administration was kind of targeting individual companies. Some called it maybe like hit jobs or show trials, and certainly TikTok was probably the central focus, but WeChat was as well. And what I think we're going to see, the order that just came out this week directed the Commerce Department to review apps that are under the control of foreign governments, foreign adversaries that might have, some control from military or intelligence and could share our American user data, with them basically. So I think those criteria will probably be much more broadly positioned than just around TikTok or around WeChat, basically. So I see it as a more comprehensive approach to what was tried in the last administration. And I think the courts sort of said it was unenforceable anyway in terms of what President Trump was trying to do. So it's not that different from what President Trump was doing, but I think it'll be a bit more comprehensive and strategic.
Can you remind our viewers how this whole fight, with the apps like TikTok and WeChat, how it all started to begin with?
Well, I mean, there's certainly a political element to it, and that's probably the biggest theme, just in terms of how we deal with adversaries. And there were certain events like I guess during the last election and the campaigns in Oklahoma City where there were some TikTokers that revolted, but there was also quite a bit of stuff in the past with TikTok where content was edited and might not have shown up high enough in their queues, just given the way their AI works, that could be interpreted as censorship actually. So there's been a lot of I think concern around TikTok, but I think also in the government we have an entity called CFIUS that reviews foreign investments. I think just generally there's been quite a bit of attention on Chinese and other investment in apps that might have sensitive data for all of us.
Now, what is these bans and what does this all mean for our relationship with these, foreign adversaries like China?
I mean, I guess it could get potentially a little bit more sensitive and quirky. I think what's happening is broader than just around TikTok. So, in the past there have been other apps, health-related apps, data services, even dating services, actually, that I think our government's reviewed, CFIUS reviewed, and even forced some changes in. So it could be more sensitive. I think the real thing going forward is TikTok's all about AI, and that For You page is meant to hook you. And it's a very interesting algorithm that I don't think we know a lot about, and I don't know if their owners have really opened up. And I think that's probably going to be, something to watch going forward. And it could be a more sensitive landscape around these things going forward.
So if an app like TikTok is found to be a threat to our national security, do we know what measures are taken then?
Well, we don't know specifically, but I guess I will say that, before the administration sort of turned over, there was a lot of talk about what people call deplatforming, which is pulling TikTok, out of the app stores.
Right.
And that would have really, really hurt their business. And I don't think they're out of hot water yet. So they could be found under these security reviews to perhaps be in violation. So I think that's one piece. And I think there's still an ongoing review just of investment. So I wouldn't kind of pull them out of hot water just yet. I think it's kind of be subject to consideration going forward.
So what happens next in all of this, Seth?
Well, I think we're going to see these criteria that are issued by the Commerce Department and some of the other government agencies, and they'll be broad-based and there'll be a review. So you'll potentially see some actions, perhaps around WeChat, perhaps around TikTok, but probably on some other ones that are even more just as sensitive. And I think that'll probably be the next thing to look at, actually.
Does this have any immediate impact on TikTok users right now, WeChat users right now? Because that's probably the big question. Whatever, people who aren't really following this story is like, wait, am I going to be impacted using these apps at this moment?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest actually concern that people aren't really thinking about, because particularly TikTok obviously is so enormously important to the youth of our country, plenty of others basically, and everything from media to artists and music are starting to really flourish in that community. And so, it would be a difficult thing to pull that thing and pry it apart and shut it down anyway. You get a lot of revolt. There have been competitors like Triller that have come out and actually taken a lot of subscribers where governments have tried to shut them down before in places like India. So I don't think you'll see anything immediately on it. I think people on WeChat who use it, Chinese American community, for example, are probably quite thankful that that's still around.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, Seth Schachner, we appreciate you for coming on the show and breaking this all down for us. We'll talk to you again soon,
Thanks,
Seth.
Jen.